somebody that didn't play. He's on the roster. Duke had, more than 2 quarterbacks on the roster. But this is the position, unfortunately, that Duke now finds itself in. And there is no good remedy for Duke football. There is a financial remedy, and I guess, theoretically, based on what the penalties that will be paid by Miami, by Darian Mensah, Duke could theoretically go into the portal because, there are names in there and nobody has necessarily locked up somewhere else. They could throw $8 or $9 million at somebody, but let me point this out. You can't take the moral high ground if you do exactly what Miami did. And I think Duke is more likely to take the moral high ground, they should, than do what Miami has done, which is really BS. And honestly, it's not just on Miami. I just want to back off there. I am very pro-player. But a lot of this, the lion's share of it, falls on the player here. I am very much pro-player. But I am curious what happened between, I think it was December 19th, when Mensah released the video talking about how great it was at Duke and he couldn't wait to come back and run it back with his guys and make a run at the college football playoff and whatever was said in that video. What happened between December 19th and basically 10 days ago that had him want to put his name in the transfer portal? What happened there? Was it Miami contacting him? Was it Miami winning another game and missing out on every good quarterback in the transfer portal? I think it's more likely the latter and not the former. But something happened, and maybe one day we'll find out. But anyway, that's going down. Dave Pagnotta, the fourth period, will join us when we come back. We will talk NHL trade deadline next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Buffalo Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott did an awesome job in Buffalo, but not good enough. And we have been saying this all year. Sean McDermott should be the coach of an NFL team next year. It should just not be the Buffalo Bills. They have to get someone to win now.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Adam Gold here from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. And you know what I like to do. I like to save you thousands of dollars by not paying closing costs, because I have saved thousands of dollars by not paying closing costs. I have never, ever paid a dime in closing costs with Miller Lending. I'm an 11-time customer. That's over $50,000 in savings, not to mention what I have saved by lowering my monthly payment. And every single time I have refinanced with Miller, I have lowered my payment. Yes, you can do it too. All you got to do, go to the website, MillerLending.com. All the information is right there. You can start the whole process right there, end the whole process right there. Hey, if you're lucky, you don't even have to see anybody face to face. Miller Lending. Gordon Miller invented the no closing cost mortgage in 1987. He brought it to the Triangle in 1996, and he has been saving people thousands of dollars here, your neighbors, ever since. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary, an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 2502146.
Pondering prizes with Cash Pop? Why pick just one pop when you can pick as many pops as you please? Up to 15. Picture this. You pick your pop, perhaps a powerful 7. Now pick more pops like a proud 9, a pristine 15, a perfect 10. Each pop propagates more potential to pack your pockets with prizes up to $2,500. So prepare for a peppering of prizes with Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Cash Pop. Play more pops. Win more prizes. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds charts at nclottery.com. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Typical tax free edition only. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only.
that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax Free Edition. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
This is Dr. Craig McGiffin with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots? Whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 70,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs significantly less and tends to work much faster. Ready for real, lasting results? Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Dennis Cox from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've lost over 15% of my body weight, 42 pounds, thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Become the new you in the new year. The Raleigh Weight Loss Center program has successfully helped thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in 60 days. Schedule your free 15-minute phone call to learn more. Call Raleigh Weight Loss Center at 919-897-7506 or visit them online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too, so we understand what your bike and gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and we don't get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Gold. Gold.
Is he married to a person or just himself? Because I feel like that's very Aaron Rodgers-y of him to have the twist in there.
It's a very good question.
Oh, I don't know. We still don't know if it's a person.
Would he get down on one knee to ask himself over an ayahuasca?
Yes.
The Adam Gold Show.
We are, I believe, officially 2 weeks from the trade deadline freeze as everybody shuts down for the Olympics. I assume they're going to have Olympic hockey. Not sure we're going to have a suitable sheet of ice for it or people in the stands, but the NHL players are going to go over there, and I don't know, maybe they'll play stickball instead in Milano. Dave Pagnotta, the fourth period, joins us now on the Adam Gold Show. Hey, thank you very much. This is it's like the trade deadline before the trade deadline, right?
Yeah, trade deadline junior kicking in here in a couple of weeks. Teams, look, activity it picked up over the weekend. We saw Rasmus Anderson move, Kiefer Sherwood move. A lot of activities picked up, in this last week or so, and then to see movement kind of gets everybody's juices flowing. So the conversations are happening. They're vast, and let's see some more action.
Yeah, and we had Quinn Hughes move in the middle of the season. That was a massive deal. I think that deal probably adversely impacted the Devils because they just assumed they were going to add another Hughes. Although apparently, if your last name is Hughes, you are often injured. Luke Hughes, now on long-term injured reserve for the Devils. I hate making that joke, but holy cow, they're like. At least this one wasn't a team dinner injury. Dave Pagnotta from the fourth period is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. So number one on your trade board is Artemi Panarin. And I know right now in the fourth period, at least when I looked yesterday, you didn't have teams that are linked or interested teams. You didn't have you don't have any teams for anybody yet. But I know through reading on your website that the Hurricanes have had some interest in Panarin. That is one of those elite level scorers. I mean, what would it? I've tried to think about how this would work for Carolina, what they would have to give up. But with only him walking into free agency after the year, and I can't imagine he signs a contract extension with anybody really. What would you have to give up for Artemi Panarin?
Yeah, and we'll have, I think on Saturday, I think we're going to start populating the teams of interest, the teams that are linked to all these teams on the trade watch list. Carolina's definitely on there. And I mean, I give Eric Tulsky and the management staff of the Hurricanes a heck of a lot of credit. when there's a big fish out there, they're going to have a conversation. They're going to see if they can get into that mix and can they be part of that race. Looking at Panarin, and I agree with you, I don't think there's going to be an extension tied to this. This is more likely geared towards your premium rental.
Yeah.
And going back on past costs and price tags, you're looking at, and I'll just map it out just easily. First round pick, top prospect, additional asset. You're looking at a three-prong kind of return. Now, does that modify based on first pick value? Can you move a player who has first round equivalency in terms of value? Sure, but just a blanket statement, that's what it's going to cost. It's going to be pricey, certainly. But at the same time, speaking of price, teams that are interested want the Rangers to retain on his contract.
Right.
And while, the Hurricanes have cap space, and there are other teams that have a lot of cap space as well, not all. Like Detroit's got a significant amount. Dallas can create a significant amount by shutting down Tyler Seguin completely for the full season. He's only on LTIR right now, not season ending. And there are other teams that are right up against it. Regardless of the teams in the mix, they're going to want the New York Rangers to retain on that contract. How much will they go to 50% of his deal? It makes it a lot more palatable, but there's also a price tied to that. So all of this is to be considered when Chris Drury, the GM of the Rangers, is going to be navigating the waters and trying to see what the best return is for Artemi Panarin. But as I mentioned, no matter who acquires him, I would fully anticipate there being some type of retention and possibly up to 50%.
What's interesting is that the Hurricanes do have that available as a package to go to the Rangers if they were willing to, and if they thought that Panarin would be one of those pieces that would put them over the top. The Rangers have another guy in your top 10. He's not number 2. I think he was number 8, and that's Vincent Trocheck. We don't have to worry about whether or not Trocheck would acclimate to the Hurricanes dressing room because we had him for 3 years, and he really was I know the head coach loves him, and I'm not suggesting that Carolina would be super interested because while he solves some of the problems, problems is doing a lot of work there. He doesn't tick every box that Carolina is looking for, but I know he's going to have a lot of interest across the league. This could be more of a bidding war maybe than Panarin.
Yeah, I think in terms of overall asset valuations, he's at the top of the list. In terms of current availability. He has a little bit of no trade protection. I think it's a 13-team no trade list right now. So there is some say, but because he's got term, because he's got a very attractive AAV, there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to want to continue to have interest in him. So be it Carolina or Minnesota or Winnipeg, Los Angeles, who just played them. I was at their game in LA on Tuesday. There is going to be quite a decent amount of interest in this player between now and the trade deadline. I think with Panarin, because with the Olympic break, because we've got that, some teams would like to get some business done sooner than later. Mm-hmm. Allow a player to come in, get acclimated to his new surroundings. There's a break in the schedule for everybody. It's kind of like a bye week like that we used to have. And then teams report back on the 17th of February to start, hitting the ice and practicing again. To have that window before the regular season resumes, I should say, on the 25th of February, gives a lot of players opportunity to get acclimated to their new team. Panarin's not going to the Olympics. He can go on vacation or go to his Florida home and then, go to his new team. I think in a perfect world for the Rangers and for him, they get this done before the Olympic break. But no guarantees because obviously they want to maximize the return. Trocheck, obviously different. He's going to be a little busy. This is, if he is moved, could happen before the deadline itself. And then at the same time, you could wait until the summer. But this is a player for this season that, as I mentioned, there's a lot of interest. There are a lot of different options that the Rangers can pursue. And like you said, he checks off a few boxes for the Hurricanes. And there is obviously familiarity there. So, if I think they're going to kind of blanket this to see what all their options are before starting to fully get invested in who they pursue. And that's probably, not too far away.
If they do have interest in Trocheck because of the familiarity and he understands the system and all that, they can afford to wait until after the Olympics to make that deal with a player that you need to get acclimated to. That would likely happen before. Let me ask you one quick question about Panarin, because the team that everybody just assumes, hey, I'm going to go to Florida, but they have been cap pressed all season, and now with the new rules where you have to be cap compliant when the playoffs begin, how would they be able? Obviously, the Rangers would have to retain half of the contract. That still makes it, between $5.5 and $6 million. How would they do that if they are also holding out hope that Alexander Barkov comes back?
Yeah, and right now the timeline for Barkov, or at least the initial timeline, I should say, was conference final time, so second half of May. Now maybe he pushes that up and can get back into action for the second round, but once that happens, they've got to be cap compliant. The lineup that you ice in a playoff game has to be within the salary cap. So you can be over the cap overall, but the lineup that you're putting into a game, whether it's game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it has to be within the cap parameters. So it's going to result, if a team like Florida goes in this direction, and there are other teams, like Vegas is now right up against it.
Yeah.
With McNabb coming back, they've got nothing. They've got no space after the Anderson acquisition. So at this point, it's you can bring somebody in, but that means somebody significant, at least one player, will have to sit. And how's that going to jive within the room? That's all things that guys are going to have to, or management, I should say, is going to have to consider when kind of navigating this. I think Florida, with respect to Panarin, is the low-hanging fruit, just because we've seen them do this before, and obviously last season with Brad Marchand. I don't know how realistic this is for the Florida Panthers to pull off, unless they're going to move a body off this roster. And where they're at right now, for a team that, they've been to the Stanley Cup 3 years in a row, and they're back-to-back champs, they're on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Panarin may say, I kind of want to take my chances elsewhere. I would like to go to a more favorable spot right now because there's no guarantees they even get into the playoffs. So I don't know how realistic or significant the Panthers are within the Panarin race at this point. He may turn around and say that's the only team I'm going for and handcuff the Rangers. That's a possibility. I don't get that sense right now, but entirely possible. But I suspect there are going to be others that are going to be fully involved in this. The Hurricanes, as I said, I anticipate to have their hat in the ring in this one.
Dave Pagnotta, fourth period, is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. I have two more elements, then I'll let you go. The first is other centers that might be available. I know I saw on your list Charlie Coyle was in the basically also receiving votes with Columbus. He's big. He's 6'3". He's a really good two-way player. He's having a very good year. Carolina doesn't have familiarity with him in the room, but they played against him a lot when he was with Boston again. And so thoughts on him. And also, I don't think he was on your list, but I had read somewhere that the Blues, who are tearing it down to the studs possibly, might be interested in moving Robert Thomas. Is that even a possibility?
Yeah. So with respect to, I'll get to Coyle in a second, but just with respect to Robert Thomas, they're not actively shopping him, but they've told teams that if you have serious interest, we'll listen.
Okay.
The mindset right now with St. Louis, and they also have Braden Shen, who is available with another year left on his contract. The mindset with the Blues right now is we'll listen on almost everybody, except their key younger guys. So anybody 25 and under, pretty much hands off in terms of core players. So Jake Neighbors, Dylan Holloway, Jimmy Snuggerud, and so on. But they've listened on Kyrou before, and teams started to say, well, what about Thomas? They said, all right, well, make it worth our while, and we can have a discussion. That's really where things are at with Robert Thomas. That would take a significant blockbuster type of deal in order to do it, but the Blues have not told teams they're not willing to entertain that thought. They've told some teams it's not going to fit for you because we don't like what you got.
Right.
But they haven't told teams forget about it. So if you're looking at a guy like Robert Thomas, you're looking at a blockbuster-esque type of move. And again, the Blues are willing to have that conversation if they feel the team has the right pieces. Charlie Coyle plays his 1,000th game in the NHL tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how this team moves going forward. He's a pending unrestricted free agent. Columbus is going to take the Olympic break to talk to all of their pending UFAs, including their captain, Boone Jenner, to see what they want to do, where things are at. With them, is there a pathway to an extension? We may not want to keep you. We want to keep you. All of those conversations will happen in February. And if this team is not in the race, cannot climb out of this little hole that they've dug themselves in, even after making the coaching change, then they're going to seriously look at making those types of moves after the Olympic break. So it's a little early right now still to figure out what direction they're going to go with Coyle. But if we come out of the Olympic break and they realize we're out of this and we're not seeing eye to eye on a deal, at that point he becomes available.
All right, one more thing for Dave Pagnotta from the fourth period. Goaltending. Carolina serendipitously has discovered Brandon Bussey. The game against Buffalo was the best 17-save performance I can ever recall. Tage Thompson had to board the plane leaving here Monday afternoon thinking, how did I not have a hat trick, let alone a goal? There were so many times where he should have scored, and he didn't. So I think at the very least, Carolina's got a goaltender they trust for the year. Freddie Anderson, who has played well in his last 3 starts, that looks like it's sort of, solving itself at least as a backup. But I still think Carolina needs a third goalie, and who knows who that goalie might be. So is there a goalie out there that can be had?
There are, and I agree with you. I think they're in a position where they need to have that insurance going into the playoffs. Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen injury wise, and
especially with
things
Freddie.
of that nature. Oh yeah, yes, we've seen that a couple times. But there are, there are going to be some teams that are looking at some of their assets to see, all right, who's available, this and that. I don't think overall the goaltending market hasn't been too deep. Let's say. So the options have been, fairly limited to a certain extent. I mean, outside of Laurent Brossoit, we saw Chicago move him over to San Jose for the Sharks looking at insurance in their own regard because they'd like to go on their run and stay in it. You have to look at other options and you have to see what else is out there. Eric Comrie, I just mentioned the Jets before. Eric Comrie is a player who's on an expiring contract. He's 30 years old. If the Winnipeg Jets don't, they're pretty much out of it. But if they don't figure things out here, I think he's going to be a player that they're going to look at. You're not going to see, any sexy names at this stage in terms of availability going into the deadline. It doesn't look like it. At least guys on expiring deals. You thought maybe in some different areas there may be some options, but Pittsburgh's in it. Obviously, the Oilers are competing hard, so you don't have guys on expiring deals that are necessarily readily available. So you're going to have to look for those insurance type of guys and hope that at the very least they're going to be the backup, the number 2 if they have to swing into action. But Comrie's a guy who's, again, on an expiring deal. It's not a big cap hit. And somebody that name is out there in terms of potential for later on in the season. Outside of that, like Montreal is going to start Montembeault tonight. They've got a little bit of a 3-headed monster with what they've got.
Right.
Same with Toronto, but they have the ability, both of those teams, to send one of their guys down back to the AHL, whether it's Fowler in Montreal or Hildeby in Toronto, without waivers. So we're not there yet. I think the conversation in Montreal will be interesting come summer, but I don't think that's a scenario now that kind of gets played out.
Dave Pagnotta from the fourth period. The fourth period on Twitter. Appreciate your time, sir. You're everywhere. I'm glad you were here with me today. I'll talk to you, and I'll see you soon.
Can't wait, buddy. Thanks, man. Take care.
All right, we got one-timers on the other side and a schedule change. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. We are kicking on to playoff mode in the National Football League. What do you mean kicking on? We have been kicked on already for 2 weeks. And remember, FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost pack for every NFL playoff game day. During the championship round, you can find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. And it is the greatest app known to sports wagering ever. More boosts means you get to create more value in whatever you like. FanDuel.com/local, FanDuel.com/local. Grab your profit boost pack today. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
With a potentially damaging storm expected to impact our area, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. Ensure you have necessary supplies on hand like groceries, flashlights, batteries, and blankets. Charge your mobile phones in advance and check in on neighbors who may need help. As soon as conditions are safe, public power line workers will assess damage in local public power communities and begin to restore power as quickly and safely as possible. Stay safe and get storm preparation tips at electricities.com.
According to the latest report on farmland loss in the United States, North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land loss by the year 2040. Together we can protect our family farms even as North Carolina's population continues to grow. Learn more about preserving your family farm at the Southern Farm Show in Raleigh, February 4th through the 6th by visiting the booth for the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. And see more at ncadfp.org.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshIIP.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
This season, make the choice to protect what matters most, you and your family. Choose to get vaccinated for the best protection from respiratory illness.
Talking with your provider about vaccines, hand washing, and staying home when sick keep your family protected from the flu, RSV, and COVID.
Defend yourself. Get vaccinated to protect you and your family from respiratory illnesses this season.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to find yours today.
Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
I have his jersey.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have any other jerseys or just a Jake Delhomme?
I got so many.
Do you really?
I go all the way back from Tim Biakabatuka.
Wow.
Yes. Cam, Luke, obviously, Smitty. So, yeah, I've got multiple. 6 or 7, maybe?
6, 7?
6, 7?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. We're going to do one-timers in a second. We might only have time for one. ACC basketball scheduling changes based on Ice-Mageddon that is on the way this weekend. Duke and Wake Forest on moves from 5:45 to noon. I'll give you all TV assignments later. 5:45 to noon for that game. Carolina, Virginia. 2 to noon, Virginia, Louisville. 3:45 to 2:15, NC State Pitt. It's still noon, but that game has a network change. And again, I'll give you everything coming up on the other side. One time. Sorry.
Okay, so this one from Scott. Give us your grade for Will Wade so far. What is the ceiling for this version of NC State?
I mean, he's all over the place like his team. So I'm actually going to say incomplete. I think Will Wade is the right coach. I think he's an excellent coach. And I think they will figure it out. I think this team will figure it out. So I'm not giving him a grade just yet. But they do have a lot of work to do. They have to find some consistency, but they're not alone. They have it down the street as well.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Canes hockey is back, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Canes on the ice. Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside, official hard tea and lemonade of the Carolina Hurricanes. Sold in arena and at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. And there's no time like now to stop what you're doing and join with the K-Yow Cancer Fund in the fight against all cancers affecting women. I'm Jenny Palmentier, CEO of the K-Yow Cancer Fund. From now through January 31st, Triangle Area Bojangles will donate all proceeds from Bowberry biscuit sales to the K-Yow Cancer Fund. Just buy a Bowberry, do some good, and get something good. So what are you waiting for? Hurry, it's bow time.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Charlie did not die from an overdose. Charlie was poisoned.
No other family should go through this. It's just horrific.
Go to safe.pharmacy. Use the free tool. Learn if the online pharmacy you're using is safe.
Experience the heat with a hot spring hot tub or Tilo sauna from Atlantic Spas and Billiards. Too much inventory means big savings and a big selection from the largest hot tub and sauna store in the Triangle. Our newly remodeled showroom at 8721 Glenwood Avenue celebrates our 39th year with indoor and outdoor saunas, hot tubs, and outdoor gaming. Our billiard side is stocked full of pool tables, foosball, darts, table tennis, and more. Come in now for the largest savings and availability. Atlantic Spas and Billiards, 8721 Glenwood Avenue, Raleigh.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Mike Tomlin, but he has said he doesn't want to do it next year, so I would call him every day. But, you know, if the answer is no, the answer is no. So, yeah, I mean, I know Belichick's been floated, but I don't think you can do that off of the year he just had. Now 3 NFL coaching cycles where only one team has even interviewed him, and that team didn't hire him, and has since changed coaches again and still didn't hire him. I understand the reasoning behind Buffalo doing what they're doing. I understand the fans are cool with it. I get all that. It's reductive to say, oh, you're not going to find a better coach. You know, I mean, obviously McDermott's a very good coach, but I don't think that there's like press button, add coach, win Super Bowl. I think that's unrealistic.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Gold. Oh, we're back on YouTube. Yay! Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. Either way you get to us. Victoria's here. That was Dan Graziano from ESPN, football writer. And I do want to talk about that here in this segment and coming up in 19 minutes now at 1:20. Doug Glanville, former big league center fielder, on 2 guys who went into the Hall of Fame or were elected to the Hall of Fame the other day, Andrew Jones and Carlos Beltran. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about Jones. Although I know we have a lot of Braves fans here, and I got this question about Jones' election to the Hall of Fame. What does this mean for Dale Murphy? And I've been saying, I don't know for how many years, that Dale Murphy belongs in the Hall of Fame. Honestly, that's one of the things that baffles me. I can't imagine a Hall of Fame that has Jeff Kent in it and not Dale Murphy. I don't get that. I don't get a Hall of Fame with Harold Baines in it that doesn't have Dale Murphy. The best player in the game for, 8 years. It's hard to be the best player in baseball for a longer period of time than that. It really is. There's so many great players. But he was the best player in the game for like 8 years. I don't get it. And he was an excellent center fielder. Not like Andrew Jones, but we'll talk about that with Doug Glanville coming up in just a little bit. Canes play tonight. Carolina and Chicago at Lenovo Center. First game after a 2-day break. Interesting, we've been talking about a concentrated schedule for the Hurricanes all year long. But here we are, exactly 2 weeks from the Olympic break, and the Hurricanes actually have a little bit of a break in the schedule. They played 3 games in 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Monday afternoon. Won all 3 of those, by the way. And then they get Tuesday, Wednesday off, play tonight. Off Friday, Saturday in Ottawa. Hopefully they can get back. But they've got time because they don't have a game until Thursday. What is it? 4 straight days off? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, they'll practice twice probably. But, yeah, they have 4 days without a game. That's like the off season for this group. And they play Thursday here against Utah. That'll be Whalers night. Then they play Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and that's the break. Then from that point on, that's February 5th, that Thursday, and the Hurricanes will not play again for exactly 21 days. So, again, a little bit of room here. I don't know that it's going to get him any healthier. I don't think Eric Robinson's going to play between now and until after the Olympic break. So I don't know about Shane Gostisbehere. Didn't practice yesterday. I don't anticipate him playing tonight. Should be Frederick Anderson in net for Carolina. So we'll talk a little bit more about the Hurricanes later on. The Tar Heels won last night. Good win. It was just Notre Dame, and it was just at home against Notre Dame. So we're not going to, spread around all the huzzas because you beat a bad team. That bad is not the right word. Notre Dame is not an NCAA tournament team. Just like while a great win on Tuesday, State winning at Clemson, a great win, State's got to go out and play well again. Just like Carolina's got to go out and play well again. And in Carolina's case, they need to do it against like a better team. That's what they need to do. State's already proven that they could beat a good team on the road in the ACC. Carolina's going to have to go to Charlottesville and beat Virginia. Real quick, before we get into some other things, let me fill in some of the blanks for the schedule changes for this weekend. I mentioned it before, didn't have a lot of time, but I want to be more complete here. So 4 games will be affected by, I don't know if we're naming this winter storm, but 4 games will be affected by whatever is coming our way and really all across the Mid-Atlantic.
I like to call it the Mess-mageddon.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be, it's not going to be good. Wake at Duke was going to be 5:45. I think it was I don't know which network was airing it, but 5:45 is now noon, and it will be on the CW, which just might be Seth Davis, by the way. He has been the analyst for those games, a lot of them anyway. So not 5:45 for Wake Duke, noon on the CW. North Carolina at Virginia was going to be 2, now noon, ESPN 2. Virginia Tech at Louisville was going to be 3:45, now 2:15 on the CW. Nice doubleheader, by the way. Wake Duke, Virginia Tech, Louisville on the CW. Very good. And NC State was going to be a noon game, will still be a noon game on Saturday, but now will air on ESPNU. I don't know what the network was prior to this, but it's a change, not in time, a change in network. So there you go. You can always find out. You can go to your favorite school's website, or you can go to ESPN.com, or you can go to the ACC.com and get the full schedule. So there's that. Doug Glanville will join us coming up in just a little bit. Would you like to know, before we get to some other things, would you like to know what the ACC is the best in the country at?
Lawsuits.
Well, they are. They absolutely are the best at lawsuits. That's a very good answer. You were prepared for that.
I was ready. I didn't know you were going to ask it either.
Good. No. The ACC finished 1, 2, and 3 in the final fall Directors' Cup standings. And America goes, what are those? All right. For all sports in the fall, you get points depending on where you finish. North Carolina won the fall. The University of North Carolina first, Stanford second, Virginia third, Wake Forest 8th, Duke 9th. We're like the SEC in football, only better.
Look at that.
NC State 17th. So I skipped over Notre Dame 5th. I forgot. And they didn't get anything from football.
I know.
Actually, football counts in this because football, they're listed as an ACC member here. And whatever points you earn in football does count to your total. I guess it would be different if we're just looking at the conference because you wouldn't get that. But anyway, regardless, I think the ACC is number one in the whole thing. Louisville 21, Syracuse 22, SMU 26. So that's, I believe, 10 of the top 26 schools are ACC schools. I know, it's just the Directors' Cup. It only matters when you decide you want it to matter. All right, now to our second look at news of the day. And pertains to the soundbite we had from Dan Graziano coming out. I don't know how many people watched either the video or clips of the video of the Buffalo Bills dog and pony show, clown show press conference where the owner, Terry Pegula, was, I mean, look, you decided that Brandon Beane is your guy. I'm not going to sit here and say that Brandon Beane isn't a good general manager. I mean, whatever. And also, I know Dan Graziano pointed it out, like, for people who think that you can't get a better coach than Sean McDermott or that you can get a better coach than Sean McDermott. I mean, A, you can. B, they can decide that the next coach is going to be better than Sean McDermott, and they could be wrong. More likely, they will be wrong. But if you are such a Sean McDermott fan that you are going to say they're not going to find a better coach than that, you have your standards incredibly low.
Yes.
He is a good coach. Nobody is saying that Sean McDermott is a bad coach. He is a good coach. But if he were a great coach, he would have at least made it to a Super Bowl with that quarterback. And the fact remains is that they have had good teams, maybe not great teams, but good teams and that quarterback. You're going to mistake your way into a Super Bowl. In fact, they should have gone, what year was it? I don't remember the year. I only remember the amount of time on the clock after Josh Allen gave you the lead. And you screwed that up. And I will never let Sean McDermott live that down because you shouldn't. That was a case where the head coach prevented his team from making the Super Bowl. 13 seconds. Don't kick the ball out of the end zone.
Yeah, make better choices.
Drill it along the ground. Maybe it hits somebody and it squirrels around for 2 seconds. Any time off the clock is good. And then, don't rush anybody. Drop 11 players into coverage. Make sure Kansas City State, they had no timeouts. No, they might have had a time. It doesn't really matter if they had 13 seconds. They had to go like 50 yards.
Yeah.
Never mind. I don't want to go through that. I'm not even a Bills fan. That was egregious. So, to me, Sean McDermott was always fireable based on preventing his team from going to the Super Bowl. With that said, no guarantee at all that the Buffalo Bills find a better head coach than Sean McDermott. No. And I think it's no better than 50-50 that they get even as good a coach as Sean McDermott. The reasoning given by Terry Pegula was, well, we've got to hit this ceiling, this playoff ceiling. Yeah, I mean, I get it. The roster wasn't great. The quarterback made some mistakes. I don't think Josh Allen had this. He certainly didn't have the same year as a year ago. By the way, Allen is one of the MVP finalists. Allen, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence. What?
Wow. Just, yeah.
I'm going to say that he's a distant fifth. Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
And Matthew Stafford. So it's four quarterbacks and a running back, which I believe is a movie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It is.
So, what? Trevor Lawrence? Okay, never mind.
Is his mom on the panel?
I was like, really? Okay, good. Anyway, so to the Bills. Based on what we saw last night, Courtney Cronin from ESPN, who was, I guess, filling in for Chris Canty, basically said the job ain't good anymore.
His honesty clouded the situation in Buffalo and made it look a whole lot worse than it is, because usually this is one of the more stable franchises. We never talk about the Buffalo Bills being a hot mess, not in the last 9 years.
No.
And he just brought them back down to ground zero, where they've got to build their credibility up, because there's so much here that just looks really ugly. Is that attractive to head coaching candidates when the owner just handled it that way? Like, you think that's going to make people want to come there and be your head coach? Obviously, you're lucky you have a great roster. You have a great quarterback. But, I mean, if I'm a head coaching candidate and the owner's talking like that, I'm probably thinking, that this is not as slam dunk of a job as it might have been 2 days ago before he opened his mouth.
All right, let's hear from Evan Cohen, our friend, who, by the way, will join us next week. Is it next week or the week after? I have to go look. I think it's the week after. It's not next week. It's the week after.
I hope so, just in case.
Yeah, it's the week.
The weather.
It's the week. It is the week after because it'll be from the Super Bowl. So in a couple of weeks, we will talk to Evan Cohen. Anyway, he doesn't think anybody's going to be scared away.
We're talking about Josh Allen. Are the expectations through the roof? Yes. But we also see owners of teams change their allegiances based on the day, right? The Miami Dolphins, like, oh, Chris Greer. Chris Greer's gone. Like, just gone, right? Like, all of a sudden, he's their general manager. Here's what will happen. If they are not successful with the next coach, Brandon Beane will go and the coach will stay. What they're going to do now is stagger for God knows how long. I believe coaches that are worth their salt would pay the bills to coach the team. I don't think anything that happened yesterday is going to take coaches that are good coaches away from the concept of I get to coach that guy, number 17, in his prime.
Evan is right. Courtney, I think, is just reacting to a dumb-looking press conference, and I don't blame anybody for reacting to that because it was sad. By the way, if you're the owner of the Bills and you interject preventing Brandon Beane, who you promoted from general manager to team president, and you prevent him from answering a question, and then you go on this whatever story about, Brandon Beane didn't want Keon Coleman, the wide receiver who was taken in the first round of the first pick in the second round, the year Carolina traded up to get Xavier Legette from Buffalo. Buffalo got Carolina's first pick in the second round. They took Keon Coleman, and of course the Panthers took Xavier Legette. Terry Pegula said that wasn't Brandon Beane's idea. He was just being a team player. That was the coaching staff. And there is video evidence of Brandon Beane being all about Keon Coleman. Bruh, what are you doing? You just made yourself look like a clown. Basically, he just made himself look like about 26 other NFL owners. There's not that many Robert Krafts. There's not that many, the owners of teams who are faceless. Like, I think we would probably recognize, Art Rooney II for the Steelers? But look, the Steelers, we know what the Steelers are as an organization. We know what the 49ers are as an organization. There are great organizations, and then there are, like, the Browns or the Jets. Like, to me, Buffalo's a good organization, even though the owner is a goofball. But now, good luck. But Josh Allen, who did not play well late, did not play well didn't have anything close to his best game, and yet still almost won the game. You know what we haven't talked about, and it's too late to have this conversation now. I actually think they got the call right on in the Buffalo-Denver game. I do think that was an interception. Based on the way the rule, the catch rule is written, they got it right. That's what I believe. And we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later on. I want to be real quick here. I want to play a couple more sound bites. Doug Glanville will come up on the other side. Steelers need a coach. Mike Tomlin, probably only of his own volition. I don't think the organization asked him to go. But Mike Tomlin stepped down as head coach of the Steelers. Adam Schefter on their plan.
We have always seen the Pittsburgh Steelers hire young, defensive-minded coaches. And yesterday, they had an older, offensive-minded head coach, Mike McCarthy, who's from Pittsburgh, who would love nothing more than to go back and coach the Pittsburgh Steelers. And while he does not fit the profile of any recent head coach that they've hired, he does qualify and he does bring certain attributes that would help this organization. And he is in play for the head coaching job. I'm not saying he's going to get it, but he's definitely a strong candidate. And here's the thing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now, they are in something of quarterback purgatory. They're in a division with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow in a year where they don't have a high draft pick. They're not drafting one there that they could play. There aren't a lot of free agent quarterbacks available, not a lot you could trade. What are you doing? So if you hire Mike McCarthy, they've been open to bringing back Aaron Rodgers. Maybe that enhances the chances that they could have a reunion between Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy.
Dan Orlovsky, would you like to retort?
Hiring Mike McCarthy and bringing Aaron back would be the worst decision Pittsburgh could make.
The worst?
The worst.
The worst.
And that's not an indictment on each of them or either of them individually. Mike McCarthy's a really good coach. Obviously, Aaron, one of the all-time greats. What are we doing, Pittsburgh? To hire Mike McCarthy and bring Aaron back is going to place you quite literally in the same position you're in right now in January of 2027. I said this when they made the moves last year. They're in the worst possible place because they're going to be good enough to win 9 or 10 games, and they're not going to be bad enough to finally get a quarterback. That would be a disastrous thing to do for your future.
Tear it down to the studs, Pittsburgh. Tear it down to the studs. I'm not a Mike McCarthy fan. I'm not a Steelers fan either, but I'm not a Mike McCarthy fan.
I don't think that's a solution.
No. I actually think that Brian Flores would be a good coach. I really do. And I know he signed a contract extension with Minnesota, but that would not stop him from taking a head coaching job anywhere. All right, when we come back to the Hall of Fame, Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran, we had Jones going in based on his defense, a rarity for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Beltran, one of the greatest players of his generation, but also we have the scandal, the cheating scandal with Houston. We'll talk to a center fielder, Doug Glanville, about that next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and Chicago.
Back to Thompson, they score. He saved it. I thought he saved it.
Oh, dear, Bussy. Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Luukkonen with the save. Rebound, they score. Seth Jarvis on the power play. Followed his shot and found the back of the net.
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Conference championship weekend is here. We've got the Broncos hosting the Patriots and the Rams playing at Seattle, and every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel is ready with a profit boost pack for all customers. So, who do you like? Do you like the Rams on the road? I think the Rams are the better team. Or maybe it's Sam Darnold's time. Could Sam Darnold actually score a touchdown in the game? I don't know. Will we have a Seattle defensive touchdown in the game? I kind of dig that. Plus 650. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel.com/local for NFL playoff action. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-511-5493. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-511-5493. That's 800-511-5493. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you. But don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 919-381-1760 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
We don't want you on our team. You're too slow and fat.
This is weight bias.
Don't you care how you look?
Those with the serious disease called obesity face weight bias every day.
You're not the right fit for this job.
And blame themselves.
I wish I was different.
Weight bias hurts.
Let's stop weight bias. Be part of the solution.
Go to stopweightbias.com. A public service message from Obesity Action Coalition.
This is Adam Gold.
The American Cornhole League. I don't know if you can wager on it. I mean, just go to FanDuel and find out if you can wager on it.
I think I read you can get a scholarship. Kids in high school can actually get scholarships for cornholing. Who knows? I don't know what the technical term
I'm just not going to say anything.
The Adam Gold Show.
The Baseball Hall of Fame has welcomed in 2 incredible center fielders. I know a center fielder, Doug Glanville, who's got one of the all-time great Stratomatic cards from, 1998, 2001. What's your best Strat card, Doug Glanville?
I think it's 99, actually, when I had a, unconscious year, I hit 325. So stole bases, doing it all that year.
You did?
So, yeah, it was a good year.
All right. So Andrew Jones and Carlos Beltran go into the Hall of Fame. I want to take them separately. Let me start with Andrew Jones. I used the phrase yesterday when I was a kid growing up, and I know you and I have spoken about this. The best defensive center fielder in the sport was Gary Maddox, and I used the line. I only heard it from Ralph Kiner, who did Mets games. 2/3 of the earth is covered by water, and the other third was covered by Gary Maddox. So he was the best center fielder that I watched play until I watched Andrew Jones. Is it fair to say that Jones is the best defensive center fielder ever, and that is the driving force behind why he's in the Hall?
I mean, my experience would say yes. I mean, I have my generational bias from the time frame, but right. I didn't see anybody better than him. I mean, and that was kind of hard at different times because I took a lot of pride in center, and we were in the same division.
Yeah.
And there was times I honestly thought I should have had Gold Glove consideration. I felt like there was one year I had 100 more putouts than Jim Edmonds one year. So I remember ranting about that one spring training. But Andrew Jones was in another category. And the thing that was cool about watching him is, of course he comes in and I go to center. So it was always competitive that way. I'm trying to rob hits. Right. But the other is like you're hitting against this type of defense, and the balls that you hit that like, oh, that's a double, that's a base hit, and he just teleported, it seemed. Mm-hmm. I think that, I got to see him defend off of balls that I was hitting right. and others, but also when you have a great pitching staff like the Braves did, 3 Hall of Famers in that rotation, just the fact that he was that X factor to add to how great they were as pitchers, right? So they if they did make the rare mistake that Smoltz, Glavine, or Maddox made, he was there. He had their backs, and he had it at such a level that it just seemed like there was no hits out there. So yeah, I mean there was just the jumps, the angles, the arm, the just making it look so easy, like he was just eye-stepping in the outfield. So, I mean, yeah, so for sure. I mean, I've seen a lot of great center fielders, Torrey Hunter and others, but this guy was just special. I mean, it seriously looked like teleportation. Like he was already running when the ball was, halfway to you as a hitter, and it was just like, where's he going?
Yeah.
And then he would be there. Yeah.
As a Mets fan, obviously watched Andrew Jones play and he was part of those teams that the Mets could not get over. But for me, the most incredible thing about Andrew Jones as a defender, and we're talking with Doug Glanville here on the Adam Gold Show, the fact that he played so shallow. There aren't a lot of center fielders. Center fielders can take away doubles and triples, or maybe even rob a home run here and there. But this dude, he took away singles because he was able to play so shallow, because he almost always got a great read and a great jump on the ball, so he could cover the gaps. He could cover the ball hit right over his head, and he would take away singles. That had to be even more maddening to National League hitters back in the day. I wonder how many more singles would have been hit.
It's a great point, because I'm not sure he gets away or is allowed to, if he's coming up to the big leagues today, to play it shallow. I doubt it, because the interest that metrics like defensive run save, they're so weighted towards taking away damage, and that is taking away doubles, triples, and homers.
Right.
And baked into that is to you give up the singles. You're not Adam Jones. The last kind of bastion of playing shallow. I think he really would have had a lot of pushback in terms of how shallow he did play, and he took away singles. He definitely did, and it's still hard to hit it over his head. So, yeah. But and I related to that, because I remember one day John Vukovic was my third base coach in Philly, and I was kind of in between as a center fielder when I first got traded over to Phillies. I was like, well, where do I play? And at one point, Vuk pulls me aside and says, look, you're so good going back on the ball. Just try to make that your strength as much as often as possible, and therefore play shallow and turn everything into something you go back on if you can. And then in the bonus was that you take away singles. So that was the mentality. And so there was more center fielders in my era that were willing to do that. And Jones was, the best at it. He just was everywhere. I mean, his only enemy was boredom. He kind of, once in a blue moon, he'd get in trouble because he kind of had little lapses and he, threw the wrong base or something. But I mean, the guy just had such great instincts and was able to be himself in the Brave system, which is a lot when you have a young outfielder coming up with those legendary pitchers, to be able to no, I'm playing here. And they knew how good he was, so they just sort of let him do what he needed to do.
Yeah, to me, it's maybe only the second player who's in the Hall of Fame, really, because of his defense. The hitting was good. He had more than 400 home runs, and that's important. Like Ozzie Smith's in the Hall of Fame for his glove, not for his bat. I think we now have two of those. I'll still hold out hope that Keith Hernandez gets in. All right, let me move on to the other center fielder. And for a lot of people, it comes with a big question mark. I don't think anything about Carlos Beltran's game doesn't say Hall of Famer to me. I think he's a Hall of Famer start to finish as a player. So, and I want you to comment on that too, but before we get to that, what are your thoughts on the way his career basically came to an end in Houston as a major part of Trash Can Gate? How does that impact everything?
Yeah, I mean, I was very curious about how, that period with the Houston Astros, and, I think he was Beltran was in serious consideration, or maybe even hired managerial, and that kind of fell apart, right?
He was the Mets manager until that came out, and then they had to stop it.
Yeah. So I was curious if those steps were taken in this managerial situation. I was wondering, does that weigh into Hall of Fame voting? Because you're kind of like, wow, you strip someone from a managerial title role or hiring, and therefore that's a pretty strong statement to be like, this is we don't want this smoke, so to speak. But clearly voters weren't as concerned. And look, the investigation and what came out, and his being the only name really in that document, all those things kind of made it harder for him in some ways, because it certainly wasn't all Carlos Beltran. And but I think time has been, generous in some ways because his role was different. Whereas Jose Altuve, guys like that were on the team, they're gonna, they might run into some more hurdles, just as being direct actors. But the league took the stance, MLB, in this investigation, that the leadership paid the bigger price, right? Whether it's AJ Hinch or whether it was Jeff Luna or whoever, the leadership took the higher responsibility because they're in that role to be able to do something about it. So it didn't seem to matter. And certainly, as you said, the numbers are absolutely what they, he's a Hall of Famer, switch hitter.
Yeah.
And but I am very curious about the players, whatever guy comes along from Houston in that era. And I know Altuve will absolutely be in Hall of Fame consideration, what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, Beltran was a 3-time Gold Glover as well. 7, 8-time All-Star. He got MVP votes probably 6 or 7 times. It was a great player. And by all accounts, a great teammate, too.
Well, the thing about, this is my introduction to Carlos Beltran went like this. I was in Texas on the back end of my career, 2003, and the Royals come to town. So I'm like, okay. So, so we're playing, some dudes in center field for the Royals. And I'm like, I'm watching this game. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, this guy is actually beating us by himself. He's literally beating us by himself. So this guy proceeded, so it's funny, like I remember that and finding out his name, Carlos Beltran. But then I went, over time, I'm like, well, maybe I'm just biased because, you tell these stories like, oh, he was Superman on the field. So today I said, let me go back and look at the numbers from the 2 games that I played against Carlos Beltran in Texas against when he was with the Royals. And I was correct. He was 4 for 4 the first game, 3 RBIs, double, home run, stolen base, and he threw out someone at the plate. And I remember that because I was like on deck or I hit the ball or something. So the next day, he goes 3 for 4. so he went 7 for 8. And I was like, who? And by the way, what's not included in the stat is he robbed a home run as well.
Right.
So I was like, who the heck is this guy? And so we later, the next year, I think he was traded to the Phillies. He traded to the Astros when I was back with the Phillies or whatever. Right. And I told the Phillies in the meeting, like, this is like one of the best players on the planet. Like, and they're like, he can't be that good. Okay, so the first series he went 6 for 12. The next series at Houston he went 3 for 11. Doesn't sound that impressive, except all 3 hits were home runs. One from the left, one from the right. He absolutely destroyed us. So I mean, yeah, he was really good. And I think early in his career, the only thing I was kind of worried about, if you would say, is like he kind of had a long swing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you kind of jam him maybe, but you jam him to like a 71 WAR. The guy was phenomenal.
He really was. Real quick before I let Doug Glanville go, longtime big leaguer, broadcaster. We hear him on ESPN's radio coverage a lot. I know you do a lot of TV too. You do the podcast on The Athletic with Jason Stark. That's called Starkville. And who knows what's going to happen this year with all the changing in baseball's broadcast deals. But I am curious. I read a story in which, I forget, it was an anonymous voice that said, we guarantee we are going to have a salary cap. So as a former player, but also somebody that follows the league, what are when you hear that, do you think, yes, I think there will be a salary cap, but also, is that what would it benefit the sport to have, hard or soft, a salary cap?
Well, I mean, to some degree, they kind of have a soft cap, right, with the taxes, right? So It didn't deter the Mets
or the Dodgers.
Or the Dodgers, right? But that is effectively, slowing down and sort of discouraging people from paying more than a certain number. So they do have a threshold. And because it, hasn't really stopped some teams, maybe now the argument is like, is it creating more inequity because some teams are just like, I'm just going to blow right through this. I don't care.
Right.
And there's teams that just cannot and will not do that, right? So that's the question. And it's always been a debate with players and union, whether it's like, is it the player's responsibility to manage people's spending, right? A team,
Right.
if you want to pay someone $60 million a year, then pay someone $60 million a year. Like it's sort of that. That's always been one of the questions. And I think the big problem when I hear that, and I read that as well about this definitive statement there's going to be a cap. The next thing I say is it's going to be a bloodbath, right? Like that, because I know the legacy of the union and how the drum has always been beat on everything around not having a salary cap. Like there's other issues and they negotiate, but that has always been such a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So, and like maybe it ends up, that's true, but I don't think it's going to be because people go, oh, let's just sign this tomorrow.
Right.
I think it's going to be pretty nasty if that's the position and stance. Now, are they willing to negotiate and come up with something creative and all these workarounds? And yeah, maybe then that's possible. Now, I understand why this is in play even more than ever. Like you look at the other sports with caps or forms of caps, and you look at valuation of these teams and what they're worth. Salary caps just help that, and so do national rights. NFL does a good job of saying, well, the Saints, if you're a Saints fan in the NFL, you're still watching the Super Bowl. You're still watching all these playoff rounds because they've made it about the shield, right? And baseball is trying to get to the point where these teams are nationalized, right? They're able, just like, ESPN is able to have MLB TV this year and have streaming, and you'll see all these teams and there'll be coverage on all these teams. You want to bring all these teams to national prominence. And that when you do that, you create higher valuation for these teams because everybody knows them. And I get that. I think I would be remiss not mentioning, like, we love that about baseball, that it is local, right? That's what's endearing about it. But I think the business sense of baseball is like, one, if you have a cap, you can keep salaries in a certain place, and then everything on the top just keeps going up. And then if you also nationalize these teams, get them on a national landscape, then all of a sudden you might create more equity financially because you have national models, but you also get everybody in everybody's living room, every team. So that's where I see the cap, but I just don't see it happening without really serious labor issues. And I don't know. Of course, we'd be upset again because you're sitting well, we just came off a great season with some great ratings and great attendance and a wonderful World Series. And Shohei Ohtani's in baseball. There's some golden years to this. And you'd hate to see that stop.
Doug Glanville, you're the best, man. I appreciate your time. I will talk to you soon, and I'll be comparing your Strat cards from 98, 99, and 2001.
Yeah, let me know.
Thanks, man. Doug Glanville here on the Adam Gold Show. Jones gets in really about his defense. As I said to Doug, it's only the second player that is primarily in because of his defensive ability, even though defense matters. There's still hope for us who are Keith Hernandez fans. Best defensive first baseman I ever saw. All right, when we come back, we will stretch. We will place bets. Looking at my board for yesterday, not great. Sorry.
Yeah.
Next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available. If you feel lonely, isolated, anxious, or overwhelmed, help is here all day and night. Call, text, or chat 988 without cost, without judgment, and without waiting for an appointment. You'll get support that can make a difference. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
With a potentially damaging storm expected to impact our area, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. Ensure you have necessary supplies on hand like groceries, flashlights, batteries, and blankets. Charge your mobile phones in advance and check in on neighbors who may need help. As soon as conditions are safe, public power line workers will assess damage in local public power communities and begin to restore power as quickly and safely as possible. Stay safe and get storm preparation tips at electricities.com.
According to the latest report on farmland loss in the United States, North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land loss by the year 2040. Together we can protect our family farms even as North Carolina's population continues to grow. Learn more about preserving your family farm at the Southern Farm Show in Raleigh, February 4th through the 6th by visiting the booth for the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. And see more at ncadfp.org.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go! Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
Steve Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
yeah,
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Next hour, longtime NFL writer Gary Myers actually wrote a book about the New England Patriots dynasty and the responsibility by or for that was Bill Belichick versus Tom Brady, all that. We will talk with Gary Myers. Not only we'll mention the book, we'll talk about the fact the Patriots are back in it. And we'll talk about the NFL Conference Championship weekend. Longtime NFL writer Gary Myers joins us coming up in about 30 minutes. Right now, it is time to stretch.
Okay, so this might be something that you've been doing before. I know I have, but I didn't realize that it had a term, like a name for it, but it's been trending because, you know, that's what things do.
Yes.
This is not the weekend, however, to do this. House burping?
What?
What? That's what I said. But it's basically just when you open your doors and windows to let stale air out.
Okay, I
and
like
fresh
that.
air in. I do that all the time, especially like when the seasons change and it's springtime and it's been fall and it's, you know, whatever. But
I'm not against doing that in the winter either.
yeah, no. Well, and they say that you can do that because apparently to house burp properly.
Yeah. I just pat my house on the back.
Right, exactly. That's all you got to do.
And then it spits up.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. You only need to do it for like 10 minutes. They say that is completely sufficient enough to get the deed done with everything. And popular times for, I guess, people that they've asked to house burp, saying that first thing in the morning is good for them. I guess I could see that. Get some fresh air as soon as you wake up. Right after a shower, maybe right after you cook. I don't know. I mean, did what you made smell bad? Did you make Indian food, like curry stuff? Because that...
Wow, that's a shot. It's a shot of Indian food.
I love Indian food, but it can be kind of potent sometimes in closed doors.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was in college, an apartment, I don't know if it was, I think it was below me. And every time they made dinner, it would like come through the vents and stuff.
Right.
Like, it's dinner time. I can smell it.
Did it make you hungry?
Always. I love Indian food. So, but yeah, I never got it. Just got the smells. So this is, you can house burp. I don't know. You can do it this weekend if you want to. I don't know if it's ideal. But yeah. So air experts actually do say that there are benefits to this. Makes sense. But you have to worry about your energy bill if you do it on a weekend like this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you don't leave your windows open forever.
No. Well, and that leads to the next little article that I read, because not leaving things open this weekend, there was a guy in Canada who had an apartment and decided that he was going to leave. There was a big storm coming in, so he was going to leave. He went and stayed with family. But he also, I think this article was implying that he was leaving that apartment eventually anyway. So he wasn't living there. He decided to turn his heat off. Terrible idea. Terrible, terrible idea. He turned no heat. They had a massive storm. Pipes froze. Water splashed everywhere in this apartment, but it was so cold that it froze. So he has like ice castles all in his apartment. I watched the little video, and I'm sure you could Google it if you want to see this. It is a hot cold mess because there is ice everywhere over everything. He had random things in there, maybe like clothes, just knickknacks, things like that, all covered with like a foot of ice. So the building owner obviously evicted him completely at this point, and it's going to be a process to get rid of ice sculptures.
I just did a Google search, Canadian Ice Castles apartment.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I have the video.
Exactly, and it looks terrible. So that's going to be a mess, because then they got to thaw everything out, and there's wet, it's water everywhere. So good luck with that mold. But you know what we may not need good luck with? We might. Who knows? Our bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
Some really cool ice structures, though.
I know. It was kind of crazy.
Ceilings ripped apart.
Oh, yeah.
That's too bad.
That's the problem. And some of these ice sculptures, they look crazy because the pipes burst, so it looked like it froze in midair. You know, those experiments when people toss like water up in cold air and it freezes.
That is super cold.
Probably not a good idea. I know we're not in Canada, but
too
still.
Bad. Too bad. All right. Well,
not ideal. So, But what is ideal is our Carolina Hurricanes getting a win tonight at home.
Pick your clothes up off the floor, dude.
I know, right?
Come on, you're an adult.
He's a slob, and now it's an icicle. It's ridiculous. But let's see here. Who do I want to be an anytime goal scorer? I'm going to go with Ehlers as an anytime goal scorer tonight against the Blackhawks. He's plus 195.
He is plus 195. All right. I also have an anytime goal scorer. We'll get to Nick Ehlers in a minute. But I also have an anytime goal scorer. I'm going back and forth. I'm going to go Logan Stankoven is plus 330 today for an anytime goal scorer.
Okay.
I think I can feel.
Yeah.
I can feel that line to it. Could be Taylor Hall, plus 300.
I know.
Could be Jackson Blake, plus 280.
Yep.
That line's going to have a good night tonight.
I think so. I agree. I think so. Well, let's see. The Golden Knights are going to be in Boston taking on the Bruins. You know what? Give me the Golden Knights on the road. And I'm going to take the under 6.5. That's plus 190.
All right. By the way, Hurricanes are massive favorites tonight.
Yes.
They're minus 300 tonight. Yeesh. What if the game goes to overtime?
Oh.
Good.
Am I seeing an Aho anytime? Overtime
This is where
score?
Nick Ehlers comes into play.
Oh.
Ehlers is plus 7,000 to score a goal in overtime.
Wow.
Jackson Blake is plus 10,000. 100 to 1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What? Yeah.
All right, then.
That's worth $1.
Yeah. Why not? Hey,
$1.
I could see that.
Yep.
This one, I can also see this too. Even though it is the Florida Panthers, they're in Winnipeg taking on the Jets. This is almost a pick'em game. I'm going to go with the at-home Winnipeg Jets.
Interesting.
I know. I might regret this, but I'll take the under 5.5. That's plus 265.
Under 5.5. All right. I have no idea what's going on in the golf tournament today. They're playing the American Express. Scotty Scheffler making his debut. I know Scotty birdied 4 of the first 5 holes. I have no idea if he's leading. I have no idea what his score is, if he's obviously through more than 5 holes now. But at plus 175 right now, live line, Scotty Scheffler is plus 175 to win. I think that's an easy bet. Scotty is already playing well. Yeah, he's going to win. Scotty Scheffler's going to win. Plus 175. So why not take the free money?
Yeah,
free.
I know. I wish I would have put even just $1 on Scotty bets from 2 years ago. Yeah.
If he's in the field, bet him. Every week, bet him. Just don't even think about it twice. Just, Scheffler. It's what he does. You can't. I don't know if you can wager on TGL, that indoor golf league yet. All right, the Wall of Sound is next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
While everyone's rushing to the grocery store for bread and milk, I know something that'll keep you warm this weekend. I'm Victoria Bodecker here for Blue Shark Vodka, which is a locally owned, family-operated North Carolina business that produces the smoothest, cleanest vodka. And this weekend could turn out to be a mess, and we hope no one loses power. But this could be an opportunity to stay in, play some cards, and try a new cocktail. While everything else is a big question mark for this weekend, know that Blue Shark Vodka makes any drink better. So don't waste any time and check them out at your local ABC store.
What's this?
We're expanding the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club.
That's a pretty big wrecking ball.
Well, with all these new scratch-offs, this place is going to be packed with new winners. Okay, let's go ahead and knock this wall down. This is where we're putting the polo field. Whoa, patience, Trixie.
This month's tickets are loaded with $90 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds or winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, it's Amanda here, and I'm back again with Coach Pete. Coach, I was embarrassed, I'm going to be honest, to start working with you because I don't know anything about the financial world. I don't know what these terms mean, but you brought it down to a level that I could understand, and not in a mean way, just in a, hey, this is what I do for a living. Let me explain this to you so that you can understand it and help, me invest my money.
Well, if you don't understand what someone's talking about, you're really not going to understand what they mean.
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't need a dictionary to define what they're doing. I've tried to dumb it down. It's a term it's used sometimes in a bad way, but dumbing it down is a good way. Let's make it easy to understand.
Amen.
So we take the financial world, we run it through the computer systems, my head, and we come out with some easy ways to understand the complex matters that are explained. And many times some of the advisors try to make it complex to talk over your head. We're going to put it in your terms. We're going to make a plan for you. If you call right now, you'll understand exactly what you have.
919-794-7900. 919-794-7900.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
HIV is not a crime, or it shouldn't be.
It's time for the laws to catch up to science.
Join the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation to modernize outdated HIV criminalization laws. Go to etaf.org. Campaign funded through the support of Gilead Sciences Incorporated.
Hi friends, this is Mark Pons with Chapel Hill Tire. Great teams win because of preparation. Your car works the same way. Regular automotive service keeps everything running strong, from oil changes and brakes to alignments and inspections. It's how you avoid breakdowns and stay confident behind the wheel. At Chapel Hill Tire, our ASE certified technicians focus on the fundamentals that keep your car in the game all season long. Smart maintenance, trusted advice, work done right. With 13 locations across the Triangle, great service is always nearby. Schedule your appointment at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at richielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Blake comes up with a steal. Leaving the stake. Open hole again. Scores! Nikolai Ehlers snuck on. And there come the hats. Nikolai Ehlers with a hat trick. Now Svechnikov takes it. Here come the hats. It's a hat trick goal. Andrei Svechnikov. His 4th in the regular season. 6th career hat trick. And he is on fire.
What a weekend of hat tricks for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Hurricanes got hat tricks Friday and Saturday. Ehlers on Friday. Svechnikov on Saturday. Sunday, there was a hat trick of how were those not goals by Tage Thompson, because Brandon Bussey robbed him several times. So it was a string of hat tricks. Of course, the third hat trick was imaginary, in my opinion, but it's fine. And the Hurricanes play the Blackhawks tonight at Lenovo Center, and I am looking forward to that being a good time. I think it will be a good time.
I know. I get to be a fan.
You're gonna.
I'm excited.
Who are you going with? Can you say who you? Or is it?
Michael.
Oh,
he's from Illinois, so he's.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. So
all right,
we're
then.
going to be on opposing ends, but it's red and black.
Does he have a Blackhawks jersey?
Oh yeah. He grew up
with
them.
Is it a Jonathan Taves? Patrick Kane?
I'm not really sure. He was
Is it
like
Duncan
a big
Keith?
Bobby Hull fan. Like it's
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. You need to come to the house so you see the game room because there's just stuff everywhere.
Whoa.
It's like, oh yeah.
All right. Bobby Hull. Dennis Hull would be really serious. All right, so enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Jumbotron has you and
I know, right?
Do you know what jersey you're wearing? You
I
have a lot of Panthers jerseys. How many Hurricanes jerseys do you have?
I don't know. I think I have like one that doesn't have a thing. Like it's just a clear one. There isn't like a name on the back, but I don't know. I need to get a new one.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I typically just wear sweatshirts.
Gotcha.
Because it's cold.
It is. Oh, yeah. That big sheet of ice that will do it every time.
Right.
Gary Meyer is going to join us in less than 15 minutes. We're going to talk NFL Conference Championship weekend, the fact that the Patriots are back in it. Are we looking at the start of another dynasty? Will we have a debate over who's responsible for it, Drake May or Mike Vrabel? The answer is both. Both, just like the answer should be, in my opinion, between Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And I'm not a Belichick apologist. I just think that one isn't more responsible than the other. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. It's players determine outcomes of games. But coaches also put players in positions. I promise you this. Tom Brady would not have been the same with a different head coach.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't have been. And it's not just him. It's also the offensive coordinator that he had for most of his career in Josh McDaniel. All right. Tons of stuff to do. Let's get to the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right. We'll start with Hubert Davis. And Carolina had a loss weekend last weekend in Northern California. Let's forget that and move on. They thumped Notre Dame last night. Was Hubert Davis happy?
Very satisfied. At halftime, I told him, and throughout the first half, that we got an 8 or 9 point lead. Let's extend it. Let's put consecutive good possessions together. I was encouraged at halftime. We didn't extend it, but we didn't blow it. And I said, okay, let's take another step. Let's get off to a good start. First 4 minutes of the game, let's raise our level even more. We're just getting started, and we started off on an 8-0 run, and we just continued it throughout the second half. And so that's something that we hadn't done in a while, and I was very proud and very happy for him.
All right, now to the Carolina Hurricanes. By the way, good win for North Carolina that they did what they were supposed to do. But, essentially what they did was that they made a 1-foot putt. You should beat Notre Dame badly on your floor. Now, can they actually go to Charlottesville, where they will be this weekend? And again, a quick reminder, Carolina's game at Virginia was supposed to be at 2. Now will be at noon. It will now air on ESPN2. So a little bit more of a challenging game for them. He says facetiously, Virginia's good. They are incredibly well coached by Ryan Odom. And it will be a challenge for UNC. So if they win that, now we're talking about having more meaning regarding what happened at home against Notre Dame. Yeah, Notre Dame, I don't believe they're a postseason team. All right, now to hockey. Rod Brindamore. I had this question. I think it was either on the show or maybe it was in a different setting. I don't know. Maybe it was at the grocery store, which, by the way, there was plenty of milk at the grocery store yesterday.
Right.
There was plenty of bread.
Yeah.
There were plenty of eggs. But apparently, the entire triangle is making hamburgers.
Oh, really?
No ground. There was like one package of hamburger patties, and that was it.
Wow.
Not that I was looking for that.
Huh.
But I just noticed it. I'm like,
wow.
Okay, big run. I thought, well, maybe the hamburger buns are all gone. Nope. Plenty of those.
Yeah, no, just the patties.
A bunch of people, watching their carbs.
Yeah, it's
just going to eat a bunch of hamburger meat.
It's the 4th of July this weekend, apparently.
Holy cow.
I guess it makes sense. If you lose power and you have a grill, you could
Good
grill
point.
out.
Good point. Very good point.
But no buns.
And don't bring that grill inside your house.
Yeah.
All right, now, Rod Brindamore talking about Alexander Nikishin and what has, his progress in spite limited English.
Well, I think obviously it's weird. He's been very solid there, and again, if you just look at numbers, you'd say, well, it's been pretty good since he's shown up there. But I think just in general, like we've mentioned before, I think the offensive side of his game is not something that we're really focused on too much. I think he's picked that up and always had that in his repertoire. So it probably shouldn't be much of a stretch to throw him in that first group.
So he's been on the power play in place of Shane Gostisbehere. And I think he has been very good on the power play. The biggest fear for me is when mistakes happen at the blue line, can he recover? And I think that has been a mixed bag. But Carolina's defensive awareness in general is pretty good. And they have multiple players who have been capable of tracking back and making, shorthanded chances more difficult. I don't think that's a strong part of Nikishin's game yet. I think he'll get better at it. But, man, I want to see the shot more. I want to see the offensive creation even more than it's then it's shown itself. But, yeah, you could tell what the future is going to be like for Alexander Nikishin. So Taylor Hall is 35? Something like that?
Yeah, came from the Blackhawks. He
that's
would
right.
do multiple ones, but his last stop was the Blackhawks.
Well, that's right. Carolina got him. Actually, they got Mikko Rantanen as a throw-in in the Taylor Hall trade. That's the way I like to say it.
Yeah.
They needed to get Rantanen in order to get Taylor Hall. It's sneaky brilliant on the part of Eric Tulsky.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he has been very, very good for Carolina. He's basically at about a point every other game. It's not crazy, but, man, he has been impactful, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, and here's what he's provided.
He's been great. You know, it's not easy sometimes for anyone to come into a new environment, but a former MVP, and, you know, I think he's had to understand that and he's done a great job of just whatever he asked me to do and how many minutes and who I got to play with and what situations, and so he's done been really good. And I think this year probably feels a little more comfortable in everything that we're doing, and I think his play has been very solid.
Yeah. To the point where, and I've said this before about Taylor Hall, I think that he can play in the upper part of your lineup for stretches. I don't think you want Taylor Hall on your second scoring line. Certainly not for the long haul. Pardon the pun. But he's playing very well, and right now, that's where he stays. At the end of the day, I think ultimately, when we get to the playoffs, he's going to get his power play time, but I think he will go back to a fourth line that if it's, assuming Eric Robinson is able to come back, it's Jankowski, Robinson, and Hall on your fourth line, and that line will score, have opportunities to score plenty. It will. All right, when we come back, we have the Pro Football Hall.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Our hands had been hovering over the panic button for UNC basketball for a while now, and Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar can't hold us back anymore. Officially smash the panic button time. That doesn't mean the season's over. It doesn't mean they're untalented. It means you better go to the extremes to fix it, because the 2 losses over the weekend, that's too bad.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. NFL Conference Championship weekend is here, and because it is a playoff weekend, FanDuel is offering all customers a profit boost pack for every NFL playoff game day. Let's start with the AFC game. We've got the Patriots in Denver as 5.5-point favorites. I'm looking at anytime touchdown scorers. They don't think the Broncos are going to be very good here, folks. 5 of the top 6 anytime touchdown choices, all from New England. How about Cortland Sutton from the Broncos, plus 280? FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel.com/local. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Canes hockey is back. Grab an ice cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Canes. Only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles, so easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Official hard tea and lemonade of the Carolina Hurricanes. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
We all want more for North Carolina. More boundless views, more adventures in the outdoors, and more clean roads to get there. But to get more, we have to do less. Less littering, that is. Make it your nature to trash your trash and keep NC clean. And we'll all have more reasons to love North Carolina. Litter less, get more. For more on the 7 outdoor NC Leave No Trace principles, visit OutdoorNC.com. Sponsored by the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters and Visit North Carolina, a part of the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina in cooperation with this station.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Low mortgage rates are back.
Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed-rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you, but don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 919-381-1760 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due with sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
This is Adam Gold.
I told Tim, who does the afternoon show, I said, I'm about to turn this game around. We need Cheez-Its. So I went to go get magical Lucky Cheez-Its, and guess what? Boom. Period 2, tied it up. And then at the end of the game, I still had like 8 Cheez-Its in the cup left, and I said, Lucky Cheez-Its.
There you go.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We return to YouTube, so outstanding. YouTube search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. You'll find us. You will also find the NFL Conference Championship weekend coming up, and the New England Patriots are back. It's been a minute, and they've got a new cast of characters. No longer Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. We now have Mike Vrabel and Drake May. Although Super Bowl weekend, maybe we will see both Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Gary Myers wrote the book, Brady versus Belichick, The Dynasty Debate. Sir, first of all, thank you. It's a return appearance for you. The last time couldn't have been too terrible. So my question to you is, are you rooting for both Belichick and Kraft to make the Hall, and do you think it will happen?
Well, I don't really root. I just have a vote. So there's a big difference.
Can I lobby for Torrey Holt before we let you go?
You can lobby for whoever you want. You can lobby for Jordan Hudson if you want.
Wow. I'm not, there's a joke there somewhere I'm going to leave alone.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I think they both have an excellent chance of getting in this year. I won't find out until you find out, because once we vote,
right,
they don't give us the results because they don't trust us. There's 50 of us, so they've learned not to trust us with the results. So I'll find out when you do. But they don't get inducted at the NFL
right.
Honors. It just gets announced. The induction is in the first Saturday in August.
What would be the argument? I mean, look, I think it's a little bit different when we're talking about an owner. But what would be the argument? I would love to hear the person arguing against Bill Belichick with 6 Super Bowl rings, 2 as an assistant with the Giants, all of the wins, second all time. I would love to hear that argument.
Well, I mean, the only argument against them is Spygate.
Okay.
And
it's fair.
It depends whether, you want. I mean, there are going to be people who say the Hall of Fame is built on integrity and character and doing things the right way. And he got fined, $500,000
right.
for cheating. And now the counter argument to that is they caught him in the first game of the 2007 season. So even if you want to wipe out his entire career prior to that, which includes his first 3 Super Bowl championships, then he went undefeated the rest of the season. They caught him in the season opener in 2007. He goes undefeated. They almost won the Super Bowl. But from that point forward, he won 3 more championships, and he got to 6 Super Bowls after that first game of the 2007 season. So just based on that part of his career, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion. So if you want to hold the spying against him, okay, fine. You want to wipe out everything he did up until that point, go ahead and do that. He still had a Hall of Fame career after that. So I think he's kind of a slam dunk, but
yeah,
I'm just talking from my perspective. There could have been a lot of people in the room who, feel really strongly that we can't put somebody in who cheated and got punished for it.
I had not necessarily processed that, mostly because, and I think, Gary, you'd understand this, in the National Football League, it's not baseball, we tend to forget the transgressions. We don't, how many players every year in the NFL, it's probably less now, that get, suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. And they serve their 4 games, and then they come back, and we don't talk about it again. But in baseball, if you have one single drug transgression, you are a pariah. We remember it forever. Carlos Beltran just got elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and the argument against him is about trash cans. So the two sports treat the players and the participants very, very differently. I don't know if that's good or bad. That's just an observation I've made.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I can tell you that 2 years ago when Antonio Gates was eligible for the first time, he did not get elected. And I'm fairly certain the reason for that was because towards the end of his career, he got suspended for PEDs.
Right.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame has not given us a directive on. Now, the only thing we're told to consider is what happens on the field, but the PEDs have a direct correlation to what happens on the field, and are we allowed to take that into consideration? Even 2 years after Gates, they have not said to us, yes, you may consider that, or no, it's not considered part of what happens on the field. To my knowledge, Gates is the only one, in this era, that we've known was suspended that has gotten into the Hall of Fame. Now, it'd be naive to think that, players from past eras, before they start testing, are not doing steroids.
Sure.
That would be silly to think that, but that was before, all these, they changed the rules and everybody gets tested, and if a guy's tested positive, because on performance-enhancing drugs, there's no grace period. You get suspended the first time, unlike, cocaine or marijuana, that you just get a fine and you don't get suspended the first time.
Gary Myers, longtime NFL writer, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. As it turns out, he is a voter for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The book is called Brady versus Belichick, The Dynasty Debate. Robert Kraft is one of the best. It might be the NFL's best owner. I think we all understand that we have to go back, 15 years? He was very responsible in helping settle a labor dispute between management and the players. And I have no doubt that in time, it's hard to say whether he gets in now. In time, I don't think there's any question that he will be in the Hall of Fame. Are you planning on writing another book, a follow-up to Brady versus Belichick, the Dynasty Debate? Who's more responsible, Mike Vrabel or Drake May?
Can we give it a little time first?
I'm just saying. I mean, look. First of all, we watched Drake May's whole college career here. I think most of us knew he would be great. He's an MVP finalist. It is pretty cool to see. Even though I'm not a Patriots fan, I grew up a Jets fan. It is pretty cool to see Drake May and company in the Final Four of the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, Jet fans here in New York are just like nauseous over this. That, you know, I'd say starting in 2020, Brady's first season in Tampa, Jet fans thinking, okay, finally they're on even ground with the Patriots because Brady is gone. So the Patriots, you know, were bad for a few years. The Jets have been bad for a lot of years. The Patriots got better and the Jets didn't. Sorry, Adam.
No, it's fine. I'm recovered. I'm a recovering Jets fan, Gary. I have zero. Whatever the Jets do, it just is comedy to me at this point. And I think we have a reason. Maybe Robert Kraft is simply better at owning than Woody Johnson.
You think so?
Yeah, that's my scientific opinion is that Kraft knows what he's doing and Woody does not.
Well, yeah, I think that's pretty clear. I mean, we're not going to do a newsflash on that one. And I do think that Kraft deserves to be in. He should have been in 10 years ago. I mean, can you think about we've put in Eddie DeBartolo,
Right.
Jerry Jones, and Pat Bowlen in the last 10 years. And I can easily make a case that, you know, Kraft is more deserving based both on his team's accomplishments and his league contributions. Like you mentioned before, in 2011, I'm not going to be too dramatic here. It's just the truth. His wife was on her deathbed in Boston, and Robert got on a plane to go to Washington, and he settled the lockout that was threatening the start of the season at that point. I mean, that's a pretty big contribution right there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then you factor into the equation that his team has been to 10 Super Bowls and won 6. You know, 9 of those appearances were Brady and Belichick. One of them was Bledsoe and Parcells. And, you know, it just blows away all the other owners that are in there. So, you know, the man's in his mid-80s now, and, you know, God knows we all hope he lives forever. But and he's got his wits about him. I'd really like to see him get in while he can still enjoy it. It's long overdue. And I'm hoping when they announce the results of the votes that on February the 5th, at NFL Honors that he's in there. It sure is really interesting considering that Belichick and Kraft don't appear to be friends anymore.
No.
And that's putting it lightly.
They do not.
Putting it lightly. They are competing against each other. It's the coach, the contributor, and the 3 seniors competing for a maximum of 3 spots.
Right.
And so, I mean, there could be some voters that decide, no, I'll vote for one of the 2 and I'll vote for a couple of the seniors. Or I think it would be pretty cool if they got them together because I'd like to see them standing next to each other on the podium and trying to be civil.
Gary Myers, longtime NFL writer, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Just your thoughts on the NFL coaching carousel. Ravens fire John Harbaugh. He goes and he gets hired by the Giants. It's a great hire by the Giants. So they've been searching for stability. John Harbaugh, he's not super young, but he looks like he's in good enough shape to do this probably for, you know, anywhere from 5 to 10 years.
Right.
Buffalo fires a coach. That was the goofiest press conference ever the other day, but they fire Sean McDermott, and I don't think McDermott is a great coach. I think he's a good coach, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think probably 50-50 chance that they hire somebody even as good as Sean McDermott. But what are your thoughts on what we have seen, especially in this cycle?
Yeah, I mean, total of 10 openings. And I think when you throw in last year, I think it's 18 over a 2-year period. I mean, you're probably better in math than me, but I know it's more than 50%. It's probably like, 60%, something like that,
right.
Which is, it's pretty unbelievable. Coaches don't get very long to turn things around. It used to be a 5-year plan, back in the 70s. Now you did 2 years if you're lucky. The Giants definitely got the best coach available in John Harbaugh. I think very highly of him. He probably should have won more in Buffalo than he did. With a 2-time MVP, a quarterback.
Yeah.
Never got to a Super Bowl with Lamar, which is really the strike on his record. But he's exactly what the Giants need now. they've cycled through so many coaches over the last 10 years since they fired Coughlin that they need somebody. And John has said that he wants to coach another 8 to 10 years. And you're right, he's in great shape. He doesn't look like he's 63 years old. And they're kind of giving him the run of the building. He's making, pretty major changes with people who've worked for the Giants for a while. And he's kind of pushing them aside. I think, and the Giants have talent on the team despite only winning 7 games over the last 2 years. I think they could be next year's Patriots or Bears, teams that, the Patriots went from, 4-13 to 14-3 or 13-4, something like that. I'm not saying the Giants can win that many games, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see the Giants be a wild card team next year. And as far as the other openings, I think Mike Tomlin's going to go into television.
Right.
Robert Saleh in Tennessee kind of surprised me. I saw him up close with the Jets for 3.5 years. I think he's an excellent defensive coordinator. I don't think he's a very good head coach. And if Brian Daboll doesn't get the job in Buffalo, he's going to join Saleh as the offensive coordinator for the Titans, which, is pretty humorous that the failed coach of the Jets and the failed coach of the Giants will team up.
That seems like an odd job for Robert Saleh to accept. Like, if I were him, I would have stayed as the defensive coordinator for San Francisco for a little bit longer and then taken another gig. It just seems like I'm just taking an NFL job to take an NFL job. I actually thought that Daboll maybe would go back to Buffalo as the OC if Joe Brady is the head coach, but I don't know what's going to happen. You would know a whole lot better than I would. Look, do you think Mike Tomlin is done coaching, or do you think that after a year maybe he resurfaces? I had a dream, I don't know if this is going to happen or not, that he waits a year and then he takes over in Washington.
You Adam, you really dreaming about that?
I did. I had that dream. Yeah. I apologize for that. So
we got to get you. We have to get that analyzed. Let's see what that means.
I'm a big Mike Tomlin fan. It's the only way I would become a Jets fan again is if Tomlin was the head coach.
So you dream about Mike Tomlin. All right. I think that I think it's a good possibility that he's not going to coach anymore. I do. He's going to get a big TV offer now, and Bill Cowher never came back.
Right.
And, it's not like Tomlin only coached 5 years in Pittsburgh. He was there for, 19 years.
Yep.
And he might have had enough. But if he does want to coach again, he'll be very much in demand next year. And, the going rate now starts at $20 million for a coach of his caliber.
Yep.
That's hard money to turn down. Maybe he'll make that much in TV. I don't know. But in Washington, I hope not, because I happen to like Dan Quinn a lot. He had a tough year. His quarterback was hurt the whole year.
Yep.
And but I think Dan's a good coach. So, but if he has another bad season, he could be 3 years and out. And if Tomlin's ready to get back into it, that would be a natural.
Yeah, it was just a dream.
They want.
Yeah. I'm not an insider.
It's logical. You sound like a smart guy. They're building a new stadium in Washington.
Yep.
I don't know if they're going to have PSLs there or not, but they're going to have to sell, a bunch of tickets, and Tomlin would certainly help. I mean, that's why Jerry Jones hired Bill Parcells back in the early 2000s, because he was trying to get a bill passed for a new stadium in Arlington, and his team had been 5-11 3 years in a row with Dave Campo, and he needed Parcells to come in and win some games and create more of a positive vibe around the Cowboys. And that's exactly what happened. He got the tax bill passed in Arlington. They got a new stadium out of it. And Bill stuck around for a while. And it could be a very similar thing with Tomlin in Washington. So that's a good thought.
All right, well, I'll let you go here real quick. Who are you picking to win?
I am worried about your dreams, though.
It's
I'm
all right.
a little worried about that.
You're not the only one, and okay. I have dreams about things that have nothing to do with Mike Tomlin as well, but we can't discuss them here. Who are you picking for the Super Bowl, sir?
Wow. I would have said, Denver would have obviously been very strong consideration had the quarterback not got hurt. I just don't see how they can generate enough offense, even if Sean Payton comes up with an unbelievable game plan to beat the Patriots. Drake May playing his first playoff game on the road. Denver's always a tough place to play, but I just don't think that Denver has enough offense. I'm going to pick the Patriots to get to the Super Bowl. And then, I think that the Rams are a better team than Seattle, but I think Seattle's going to win this game.
Yep.
Because, I hate to, just pick a team because they're playing at home, but these teams are pretty even. And Seattle is like really loud. The way, I don't know if you've seen the configuration of that stadium where they have the upper deck comes over the field and it just holds in all the noise. I covered a Giants game there once where the Giants got 12 false starts in one game. 12. And it was all because of the crowd noise. Now, Matt Stafford is a veteran quarterback, so he's going to be able to, handle that. But that's just a tough place to play, and Seattle's defense has been playing very well. So I think that's going to be a close game. I think the Patriots game, I think they'll win by 10, and I look, Seattle will win by, a touchdown or less, and then I think Seattle, makes up for the Marshawn Lynch not getting the ball in the Seattle-New England game. And I think Seattle's going to win it this year.
Sam Darnold gets his touchdown to further rub it in to Jet fans. Vote for Torrey Holt for the Hall of Fame. Gary Myers, I appreciate your time, sir. The book is called Brady versus Belichick, The Dynasty Debate. Enjoy everything. Hope the book is still doing well. And enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, Adam, thanks for having me on.
You got it. Gary Myers here. I appreciate his concern. No joke, I had that dream.
Yeah. Well.
I woke up and went, wait, Tomlin's the coach of Washington?
Yeah. Well, I know that you would call Chick Hernandez immediately.
I would.
And be like, we got to talk about this.
No, but I knew when I got up that it was a dream because, it was a year later.
Ah, yes. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Just saying, that was my dream. Mm-hmm. I don't want that to happen,
right? But
that was my dream.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we should break. We have a rewind on the other side. Apologize for all that. That was fun, though. Gary, thanks to Gary Myers for joining us on the program. When we come back, we got a little Baseball Hall of Fame, and who might the Hurricanes be interested in the trade market? Next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. We are kicking on to playoff mode in the National Football League. What do you mean kicking on? We have been kicked on already for 2 weeks. And remember, FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost pack for every NFL playoff game day. During the championship round, you can find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. And it is the greatest app known to sports wagering ever. More boosts means you get to create more value in whatever you like. FanDuel.com/local, FanDuel.com/local. Grab your profit boost pack today. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
With a potentially damaging storm expected to impact our area, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. Ensure you have necessary supplies on hand like groceries, flashlights, batteries, and blankets. Charge your mobile phones in advance and check in on neighbors who may need help. As soon as conditions are safe, public power line workers will assess damage in local public power communities and begin to restore power as quickly and safely as possible. Stay safe and get storm preparation tips at electricities.com.
According to the latest report on farmland loss in the United States, North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land loss by the year 2040. Together we can protect our family farms even as North Carolina's population continues to grow. Learn more about preserving your family farm at the Southern Farm Show in Raleigh, February 4th through the 6th by visiting the booth for the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. And see more at ncadfp.org.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshIIP.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Sometimes the simplest steps make the biggest difference. Washing your hands often, staying home when you're sick, and talking with your health provider about vaccines.
Help keep your family protected against the flu, RSV, and COVID. Simple steps, big protection.
Defend yourself. Get vaccinated to protect you and your family from respiratory illnesses this season. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find yours today.
Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
I have his jersey.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have any other jerseys or just a Jake Delhomme?
I got so many.
Do you really?
I go all the way back from Tim Biakabatuka.
Wow.
Yes. Cam, Luke, obviously, Smitty. So, yeah, I've got multiple. 6 or 7, maybe?
6, 7?
6, 7? 6, 7?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Tetairoa McMillan, finalist for the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Panthers rookie wide receiver Tyler Shuck, the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Heck, I mean, he didn't start until pretty late in the season, and he got himself into that category. Which, I don't know, maybe says something about the overall rookie class. I don't know. Jackson Dart, also in that category. Emeka Ibuka, the wide receiver from the Buccaneers. And Travion Henderson, who we will see play tomorrow. But I kind of think Tetairoa McMillan's going to win. We'll see what happens. I mean, who really knows? MVP finalist in the NFL. We've got 4 quarterbacks and a Christian McCaffrey. I think it's very cool, by the way, that McCaffrey is a finalist. I could not be a bigger fan
Love him.
of an NFL player that doesn't play for the team that I root for, although I don't really have a team. And I've always, going back to the, when the 49ers first became a thing, to me, they were always the most fun team to watch, the 49ers. Montana to Clark, the play, it's the catch, right? For me, that is like, this is modern NFL football now. And when people have the debates, who's the greatest this, who's the greatest that? I still say the greatest quarterback is Joe Montana. I still say the greatest coach is Bill Walsh. But, again, it's personal taste. If we're just doing counting stats, you are dumbing down your argument. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you're dumbing down your argument. But for me, those are the two best. Montana, Walsh. This is not about having that debate. But so I've always kind of liked the 49ers. My wife happens to be a fan of the 49ers, whatever. She had a poster of Joe Montana.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she still had it when we met.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
In a gold 49ers starters jacket.
Oh, wow. Even better.
Yes, even better. And for a time, our friend Steve Logan was an assistant coach with the 49ers. I think it was 1 year. And he gave her some merch.
I'm sure she was over the moon. Oh, that's great for her.
Yes. Anyway, so I'd love to see McCaffrey win it. He's not going to win it. I think Matthew Stafford's going to win it. I think Drake May will finish second. Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen is a finalist. He's the best player in the league, but he's not the MVP this year. I think it will be Stafford. Trevor Lawrence, and I rolled my eyes at this initially. I went, what? Huh? I don't know. He had a good year. He had a very good year.
That's okay. I think you can still roll your eyes at it.
The reality is he didn't really have that much better of a year than he had 2 years ago.
No.
But his team won 13 games. And you could have basically the same stats, but your team wins 5 more games than they did that year, and all of a sudden now you are an MVP candidate. So, again, I'm not saying he didn't have a good year. He had a very good year. You're not going to be a finalist for this without having a very good year. But it's not Stafford. It's not May. And I don't even think it's McCaffrey. So, but it's going to be hard for anybody who's not a quarterback to win now. But there you go. My thoughts on the NFL MVP race. One quick thing before we rewind. We have 4 games in college basketball, ACC basketball on Saturday, that have been changed because of the pending Ice-Mageddon. Wake Forest at Duke was 5:45, now noon. That game is on the CW. North Carolina at Virginia was 2, now noon, will be on ESPN2. Virginia Tech at Louisville was 3:45, now 2:15, the CW. NC State at Pitt was supposed to be noon, will still be noon, but now the game will air on ESPNU. Just so everybody is aware of all of that. All right, are we ready to rewind? Dave Pagnotta, the 4th period. It's a great time of the year for him because we have an artificial trade deadline. Artificial trade deadline coming up before the Olympic break begins. So we've got 2 more weeks from today that I think there will be teams making moves. I talked to Dave about the possibility that the Hurricanes and the Rangers might get together for maybe Artemi Panarin, maybe Vincent Trocheck.
Yeah, trade deadline junior kicking in here in a couple of weeks. Teams, look, activity picked up over the weekend. We saw Rasmus Anderson move, Kiefer Sherwood move. A lot of activities picked up, in this last week or so, and then to see movement kind of gets everybody's juices flowing. So the conversations are happening. They're vast, and let's see some more action.
Yeah, and we had Quinn Hughes move in the middle of the season. That was a massive deal. I think that deal probably adversely impacted the Devils because they just assumed they were going to add another Hughes. Although apparently, if your last name is Hughes, you are often injured. Luke Hughes, now on long-term injured reserve for the Devils. I hate making that joke, but holy cow, they're like, at least this one wasn't a team dinner injury. Dave Pagnotta from the fourth period is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. So number one on your trade board is Artemi Panarin. And I know right now in the fourth period, at least when I looked yesterday, you didn't have teams that are linked or interested teams. You didn't have you don't have any teams for anybody yet. But I know through reading on your website that the Hurricanes have had some interest in Panarin. That is one of those elite level scorers. I mean, what would it? I've tried to think about how this would work for Carolina, what they would have to give up. But with only, him walking into free agency after the year, and I can't imagine he signs a contract extension with anybody, really, what would you have to give up for Artemi Panarin?
Yeah, and we'll have, I think, on Saturday, I think we're going to start populating the teams of interest, the teams that are linked to all these teams on the trade watch list. Carolina's definitely on there. And, I give Eric Tulsky and the management staff of the Hurricanes a heck of a lot of credit. When there's a big fish out there, they're going to have a conversation. They're going to see if they can get into that mix and can they be part of that race. Looking at Panarin, and I agree with you, I don't think there's going to be an extension tied to this. This is more likely geared towards your premium rental.
Yeah.
And going back on past costs and price tags, you're looking at, and I'll just map it out just easily. First round pick, top prospect, additional asset. You're looking at a three-prong kind of return. Now, does that modify based on first pick value? Can you move a player who has first round equivalency in terms of value? Sure, but just a blanket statement, that's what it's going to cost. It's going to be pricey, certainly. But at the same time, speaking of price, teams that are interested want the Rangers to retain on his contract.
Right.
And while, the Hurricanes have cap space, and there are other teams that have a lot of cap space as well, not all. Like Detroit's got a significant amount. Dallas can create a significant amount by shutting down Tyler Seguin completely for the full season. He's only on LTIR right now, not season ending. And there are other teams that are right up against it. Regardless of the teams in the mix, they're going to want the New York Rangers to retain on that contract. How much will they go to 50% of his deal? It makes it a lot more palatable, but there's also a price tied to that. So all of this is to be considered when Chris Drury, the GM of the Rangers, is going to be navigating the waters and trying to see what the best return is for Artemi Panarin. But as I mentioned, no matter who acquires him, I would fully anticipate there being some type of retention and possibly up to 50%.
What's interesting is that the Hurricanes do have that available as a package to go to the Rangers if they were willing to, and if they thought that Panarin would be one of those pieces that would put them over the top. The Rangers have another guy in your top 10. He's not number 2. I think he was number 8, and that's Vincent Trocheck. We don't have to worry about whether or not Trocheck would acclimate to the Hurricanes dressing room because we had him for 3 years, and he really was I know the head coach loves him, and I'm not suggesting that Carolina would be super interested because while he solves some of the problems, problems is doing a lot of work there. He doesn't tick every box that Carolina is looking for, but I know he's going to have a lot of interest across the league. This could be more of a bidding war maybe than Panarin.
Yeah, I think in terms of overall asset valuations, he's at the top of the list. In terms of current availability. He has a little bit of no trade protection. I think it's a 13-team no trade list right now. So there is some say, but because he's got term, because he's got a very attractive AAV, there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to want to continue to have interest in him. So be it Carolina or Minnesota or Winnipeg, Los Angeles, who just played them. I was at their game in LA on Tuesday. There is going to be quite a decent amount of interest in this player. between now and the trade deadline. I think with Panarin, because with the Olympic break, because we've got that, some teams would like to get some business done sooner than later. Mm-hmm. Allow a player to come in, get acclimated to his new surroundings. There's a break in the schedule for everybody. It's kind of like a bye week like that we used to have. And then teams report back on the 17th of February to start, hitting the ice and practicing again. To have that window before the regular season resumes, I should say, on the 25th of February, gives a lot of players opportunity to get acclimated to their new team. Panarin's not going to the Olympics. He can go on vacation or go to his Florida home and then go to his new team. I think in a perfect world for the Rangers and for him, they get this done before the Olympic break. But no guarantees because obviously they want to maximize the return. Trocheck, obviously different. He's going to be a little busy. Yeah. This is, if he is moved, could happen before the deadline itself. And then at the same time, you could wait until the summer. But this is a player for this season that, as I mentioned, there's a lot of interest. There are a lot of different options that the Rangers can pursue. And like you said, he checks off a few boxes for the Hurricanes. And there is obviously familiarity there. So, if I think they're going to kind of blanket this to see what all their options are before starting to fully get invested in who they pursue. And that's probably, not too far away.
I mean, if you're doing something before the Olympic break, we got 2 weeks. If it is the actual trade deadline, and that's where I think Carolina will more than likely make make whatever additions they make, then you've got till, I think, the first week in March. So an entire month of February. And I know it feels like we're already through with January, but we're not quite there yet. It is close, though. Today is the 22nd. All right, Canes and the Blackhawks tonight. I'm excited. Enjoy the game.
Oh, thank you.
I know you'll have a good time.
I get to cheer out loud.
You do. We could do that anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so we will see. It's a radio-only game tonight, by the way. Thank you, Victoria. We'll see everybody tomorrow.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
While everyone's rushing to the grocery store for bread and milk, I know something that'll keep you warm this weekend. I'm Victoria Vodecker here for Blue Shark Vodka, which is a locally owned, family-operated North Carolina